Morning, everybody. Ernie, how would I get the Bitcoin data? Good morning, Glenn. Does Ninja have Kinetic have a Bitcoin feed now? Yeah, if you've got it for Ninja, I'll look at it. I'm happy to look at whatever you guys want. All right, we'll be exploring all types of trend entries today. In gold, for example, we have one. We have a stop right above the blue line. Ordinarily, your entry would be at the close of this candle, so slightly better full. Stop at 0.3. And target would be 2 to 1 below. Down here. Had a short on the DAX a moment ago up near the pattern 5 Earl. Dropped it down. Over on CL right now we have one. It's pretty short inside of a choppy zone, but if we can get it, we'll take it. Stop just above at 26. Two to one risk reward puts the target down here. NQ's got a signal coming up at 8:13. DAX at 8:23. Morning, Tim. Okay, brother. ES has a crossover signal. It's a selling pressure dot at 7:55, and this candle's about to close below the moving average. Gold had a stop out just now, so we'll just keep going from there. And CL just stalled here near the low. NQ, I didn't get a fill. We'll hang on to that until it hits the break-even point. Killing me, Smalls. Try again here at 818 on CL. Today is trend signal entry day. Try to find as many trend signals as I can and demonstrate all of them for you. Mother. Over here on gold. Try to get the moving average to actually show up. $8.20 we have a signal. CL didn't film me again. NASDAQ came within one tick of the break even. Over here on gold, we have a selling opportunity in the direction of the trend. Just demonstrating as many trend signals as I can today. Break even on CL. NQ is just dead. Okay, over on the DAX, we have a sell limit order right here. It's fast and furious, furioso. NQ, I'm just going to drop it. Hit the break even without me, but we'll get better. At entries this morning, that would have been the place to sell it, or the close of that candle. Okay, on the DAX, got the fill. Let's see what we can get on the drop, if any. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Marco. Juan, buenos dias. Mr. Hilton, it's a pleasure to see you today. Big Earl. What's up, Mr. Armstrong? I hope things are well out your way in the Midwest today. Bill, good to see you this morning. AJ, the crude mogul. Edward, welcome. Of course, George, good to see you. Jim Hold the Mayo. I can call you that, and you can call me Michael Motorcycle. That makes us even. Larry, it's good to see you. Every day above ground, brother. You inspire me. Yeah, gig, this weather, no joke. Seriously. I was very excited that it was going to be warmer this weekend. Friday going into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. As everyone may or may not know, we've got Ron's got a motorcycle, I've got a motorcycle, and the weird part about saving up and getting one this time of year is it's 30 degrees, 25 degrees, so we look like the abominable snowman driving down the road in all our gear staying warm. Well, you know, yeehaw, it's going to be warm, right? Well, now there's 6 inches of snow up here in Yadkin County, where, of course, all the schools are be closed for the next 9 years till the snow melts. And it's basically just going to be wet and salty. It's going to be wet and salty here for the next 3 or 4 days. Gig says he's going to Orlando. I actually had this craving yesterday, Gig. I was going to start looking at beach pictures in Florida. I was that sad about all this cold junk. What's it like in Florida right now? I'm glad you got a chance to get away. That's great. I know that'll be a good trip for you. I hope you get some good time on the course while you're down there. Because life's too short for this mess. Can't do anything. Yeah, Ernie's down that way. He said it's cold there too. It's 35 degrees where he's at, 7 o'clock. Larry says he's going back to Canada. Ernie's in Florida, says it's going to be 64 today. Yeah, see, that's more like it. It's more like it. I wouldn't mind some of that. Just a day or two. I was reading an article this morning, said U.S. oil production will rival Russian oil production in 2018 and be the dominant supplier in the world. Report came out this morning. And we're sort of, I don't know if this is a reaction to that article or what. But the signals have been pretty good. So I'm encouraged by that. And we're going to look just for trend signals today. No punch outs, no breakouts. This would be a valid breakout right here. Ordinarily at the close of that line. Or I'm sorry, the puncture of that line. So from 99, you're looking for at least 6 to 8 ticks to come through. But today we're not going to mess with those. We're just going to mess with the pure entry signals. The blue dots below and the white dots above. Earl, I'm going to be ultra aggressive today with the DAX because I'm tired of having my ass handed to me by that market. So I'm going to close that out. I have a new strategy. Take what it gives me. Don't play around with structure because it'll rip right around and come up and kiss you. Glenn says you can all suck it because it's 93 Fahrenheit here in Australia. But that's your summer. So I would expect that. I would expect that for you. Good morning, Glenn, by the way. Wonderful to see you today. Gold not really producing much in the way of the expected move down. Coming in at 831 here too, and would have liked to have been closer to our 150 by now, but that's the setup, that's the entry. Either hits the stop or the target, so we'll just let it go. He says, everyone's saying, you have all that beautiful weather, Glenn, but your toilets spin the wrong direction. So there's always a compromise, right? Always a compromise. Okay, next signal is 839 in the NQ. On CL, it's over at 841 and 838. Yeah, Tim reminded me that if I were there, I'd be all over the country on their motorcycles right now, and you wouldn't see me. That's for sure. I would be gone in a heartbeat. Yeah, most of the overland videos, the adventure motorcycle videos, are filmed across Australia, so that'd be heartbreaking. So we'll see. Who knows, man? You never know where life's going to take you, right? Keep your options open. Be open to the possibilities. All right. So over here on the DAX, we had an opportunity at this crossover signal right there. Candle closed above the moving average. I'm going to see if she'll come back down and fill us at 408, Earl. Get a crossover entry. And actually, for the crossover, my stop can be really tight. So we'll see if we can grab anything off of that. Okay, doing good so far. NQ 839, CL 838, 840, 1. Did you guys catch the reports coming out of California this morning with that family of kids? They said the one girl was plotting her escape over the course of 2 years, and that the families literally pled not guilty. The husband and the wife are not exhibiting any signs of mental illness. That was probably the most disturbing part of the case. The prosecutor said that this is the stuff of nightmares. All right, no follow through on the DAX today on that crossover. That is the EMA in dot form, correct? Yeah, I'm sure their lawyer advised them, but man, I feel bad for all the prosecutors and the police officers and the paramedics involved. Those guys, they see stuff that you just don't unsee, right? And the one girl, they said, was she was 87 pounds or 90 pounds. They thought she was, I don't know how old they thought she was. She was like 29. They thought she was 10. Hey, over on the NQ, we have a stop run scenario right here. This is something we talked about in last night's class. So it's okay to maybe look for a long right here. See if it'll pull back, catch a little low risk entry. No, Gig, I don't. Actually, that's a pretty unique finding. Let me open the screencast, take a look at it. I've never gotten down into that that low of a time frame. I don't think I can run it on this machine with a GoToWebinar. It eats up too much of the space. Wow, that's pretty out there. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know. Yeah, no, I hear you. Those last two especially. That's pretty bonkers. I missed the stop run, but that was a pretty good setup right there. Let's see what 8:39 brings us. Try to get a good fill here in 38 seconds. 8:38 signal on the prime. We're waiting for 8:41 on the warp. 22 seconds till the NQ entry. The 1 and 3 day look back can be really nice. It's definitely one of my favorite look backs. It's in the top 5 for sure. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm not going to lose the NQ today. We're just going to get it. See what we don't produce out of it. Okay, the stop is here. The fill would normally be there. So my sell limit order would be here, or my buy limit order would be there. If you take it from where you were filled, we'd have it just below the low. Down here. So let's shoot for the stars today. Could I send this workspace, Marco? Let's see what 8:45 gives us on the ES. 8:41 coming in CL in 36 seconds. And try to get our hands on that. $21 seconds. I've already rolled over a little bit on crude. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, slipped about 1 tick, not bad. Stop is at 11. Like I said, we might have missed the apex of that move, but let's see if we catch the drop. Pull that over here. Gold takes out our stop, piece of trash. Finally broken out of that dumb range it was in anyway. Give it a little credit. $8.42 on the DAX. In 14 seconds, we're going to try to grab that as a trend entry here. And we're just looking for every trend entry we can find. 398 on the DAX. It's like working at a gym this morning. Just doing the exercises. Congratulations, Tim. Tim said he just made a full point move on GC on a 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart. $8.44 coming on GC. 49 seconds to go. Stop filled on crude. Nothing until 8:50. Right here in gold. Come here and try to grab along. See if we can't catch a trend starting. What's interesting about the DAX signal here is it's already violated the blue dot. So if we get a close above the moving average, that would be a potential trend entry because the sellers were not there and it's crossing above the moving average. So I'm going to watch for that. Feels like Prime is doing a really good job with CL today. And 8:46 is the next signal. We're in a chop zone though. All right, NASDAQ. Go, baby, go. Drill, baby, drill. We're at break even. target filled on the NQ, all flat. It was a nice setup. ES, we can move to break even. We'll see if it follows through. I may take out the contract at the 150 if it'll come back down to me. Over on CL, I see a potential up move right here. This is called a shelf trade. There's also a time double bottom that's coming in right here where the sellers were supposed to push down and they didn't. Okay, it just went in a sideways range. Very good chance 850 will push CL higher if you wanted to attempt a low risk counter trend long right here. I'm going to go ahead and take my ES trade off. Or we're seeing the same pattern over on the DAX right here. And I'm wondering if we don't catch that DAXy taxi you're always going on about right here. That would be 13,405. It's really impressive sometimes when that thing explodes, it just goes, right? I remember you saying yesterday how if you want to buy a high or sell a low, the DAX is the market to do that on. Gold not giving us any quarter today on that signal. Next one won't be here until 8:54. I'm going to go ahead and put my last dot price on the ES. There we go. Reload Ninja Script. There's a glitch in the software where if I turn my patterns off, it's still showing up in the code once the indicator refreshes. So you'll see here, I've got all my patterns turned off, and I'm still having issues. sure. Got the programmer looking at it, but not quite sure why it's doing that. Okay. Come on, DAX. Is there any follow through to you? Over on gold, very low risk, just above this value right here. I'm not going to chase it. The fill was here. I'll take a 1 tick hit on that if it'll give it to me. Here we go. This is a scalp. So very small trade here. If it'll allow us the privilege and the honor of taking some profit from stinky gold today. George, it's 12 euros a tick. Yeah, Ron, did Ron tell you that, Gig? What Ninja's response to most of our problems are? It's impossible. It can't happen. Like the blue line on the force charts. There's no way it can be there. It's impossible. All right, coming up on my stop with the DAX. We show them the thing they say that is impossible happening. And we get yelled at. The lady, she's the liaison from Ninja to the partner, which is us. And she says, please stop saying bad things about our platform to people because of your complicated program. It's like, is that really an answer? That's really an email that we received. Hand to God, please stop saying bad things about our platform because of your very complicated program. It's like, holy shite, for real. It was sort of a badge of honor for me anyway. I said, you know, if we're the most complicated one, I'm okay with that. We're working on something for Las Vegas right now that will probably be the computer buster. This one will probably be the one that breaks the computers. I've been dreaming about this one. Hello. Yeah, come on. Come on. There you are. I'm waiting for you. Earl, look at me. Look at me taking money out of the DAX 2 times. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Yep, I had the right premise, which is all I need. Just want to get those entries. So over here, the premise of the trade. Never saw a guy be so excited about his sim trade, right? So Earl, I had a pattern 4, but if I didn't have any patterns on the chart, it violated the blue line. So right there, that tells me, Earl, uptrend. So I have 2 signals, gentlemen, here that describe an uptrend scenario. Okay. As soon as this candle closes above the moving average like it had, that's a scenario where you can get long with your stop just underneath. Okay. I chose to take it as a puncture trade with the stop just below the structure here. But either the pattern 4 or the puncture tells me that the uptrend has begun. And even though the moving average is down, there's a wild chance the uptrend has begun. So that's pretty good for the DAX today. Let me mute my microphone real quick. I'll be right back. Yes, AJ, that's exactly right. Okay, stop filled on crude. You're exactly right. So as of that theory, AJ, the minute we saw crude being punctured right here, that blue line being touched and broken through, that was the first sign that the trend had reversed in CL. Okay. And then, like the class last night, there's the low. Okay, they're coming after that low where the stops are to supercharge their run up, right? Then Melissa, there's the punch down below that level, and this candle here is the first candle return above the low. So this could be a valid counter trend entry right there. And now we should see punctures above the blue line and continue up. Okay. So that's one way to read that, AJ, and it's a concept I'm developing here as a potential upgrade where the time determines the trend reversal. Okay. Over on Tachyon Prime, these are the times so far this morning that we've been watching for, looking for selling pressure signals using that program, and so far 648 for a sell, 705 for a sell. AJ, you see how none of these blue lines are broken? 743, 803, no break. 838, no break. 846, no break. This one right here is the first break. Make sense? So even though the 120 EMA is down, as of 9 o'clock, as soon as it broke this line right here, in my head, I see the moving average down here. Yeah. So using Prime, the first break occurs at 9:01. Okay, and there's no way to anticipate that, but when it happens, it tells us that the sellers were supposed to be here and they weren't. Okay. So useful technique. We'll see if we get we'll get that chance here in a second. Okay, on the NQ, on the NQ, we had some good shorts this morning. We had a possible entry at 741. We had a possible entry, Melissa, at 813, and then we had a really nice setup at 839 before you got here today. There was an entry in the NQ possible right here. It's called a crossover trade. This white dot was below the moving average, and the candle closed above the moving average in the direction of the buying pressure signal. Okay, when we have that, we can employ, or deploy rather, a 2-to-1 risk reward to see if we can catch the buyers pushing in that direction really quickly. I'm going to be more aggressive today with my exits. Just a heads up. So if you see me getting out early, it's just me personally trying to close out trades while I teach the room, because it's hard watching all these different markets with everybody. Okay, we're coming into the 909 signal up here. So I'm just going to close that trade out and focus on the other markets. You guys, I'm showing you the entries today, and that's what I care about, getting you to the entry part. You know how to manage it once you get there. So the NQ had the 855 signal right here. We had the 8:39 signal, followed by the 8:55 signal, followed by the 9:09 signal. The next one is at 9:22. In gold futures, we'll take a look here. Gold's in a range right now. It's not really going up or going down. It's just sideways. And I think the more reliable tool right now for that has been Prime. So if I show you Prime, you'll get a sense of why we took the short at 8:54, right? Next signal is at 9:14. 9:14. So we'll go ahead and prepare that. Over on the DAX, we have some selling pressure here with the pattern 7 Earl at this high. So we're expecting it to push back down in towards the moving average. NQ, we have an opportunity to perhaps sell it short on the close of this candle if it closes below the moving average. AJ, over on CL, we've punctured that blue line. If we have a close above the blue line, that enables a possible buying pressure opportunity. Trend entry. Okay, Tim, we'll see you later. Luis Miguel, ¿cómo está usted? It's good to see you in the room. Yes, Las Vegas, Vegas. I'm waiting to hear back on the dates that I need from the hotel. Right now it's looking at March 27th and 28th. So we'll be watching closely to see if they let us do that. An example of a stop run right now in the NQ. They're coming up past the high and then pulling back down below. So this is an area where you could look for conceivably a low risk short. The computer telling us that this is a place where they historically try to sell the market. Okay, so we'll just keep an eye on that NQ setup here and see what the banks do. Can everyone see that they're definitely stopping here? They came all the way up from the buying signal at 8:55, and now they're tapping the stops. 1, 2, 3, right there. The first stop run above to 41, 1, and now they're potentially going to come back down off of that. Now they might blow right through it, but they've stopped here. And so that's the first sign to me that this time was important. Okay. At 9:09, they moved from 8:40 all the way down to 836.75. So they moved $3 down, $60 a contract right off of that candle high. If you're looking for a trend entry on the NQ, you would be watching for a pierce of this blue line right here. Okay, so we're looking for longs at 41.5 and above. Okay, counter trend traders, this is a stop run condition. Pierce, Dana, pierce. I don't look for closes above. I find those are a little too late. for my tastes. If it pierces if it's anywhere near the blue line, it's a bullish sign. $9.14 signal on gold is going to be a trend entry. As soon as that candle closes here in 1 second, try to get our fill in. There we go. So 9.14 is a signal in the direction of the trend. We have no idea if it's going to work or not. We have every intention of finding out. If we're willing to invest this much money in the trade, we want the software, we want the market to provide a return of at least 2 to 1 on the trade. There's only a 5-tick stop on here, so it's one of the lowest stop levels. Okay, Dana, there's the pierce, right? So you can be long in the direction of the trend right here at 41.5 or 41.75. Okay. So if you did that, you would put a stop, Dana, below the puncture candle. The puncture candle is right there, that blue candle, the last one. And so the stop level would be right here. Okay. Once you know the risk, you know the reward. Right? Generally, Dana, they go at least 6 to 8 ticks above the line. So 41.50, 43.50. That's generally about as far as most of them go. Make sense? So it starts, those are really good places to look for scalps, where they probe those stops right there above the blue line. Brent received. Stand by. Invite, copy to clipboard. Next signal on the DAX is at 9:19. We get a look at the DAX for the whole morning here. You can see the signals for the rest of the session here, just waiting for us, right? Okay. Next signal in crude is at 9:20. 9:23 on the prime. Dana, we have that close above the moving average right here, that crossover signal right there. So that's a valid long entry right here. And you could have your stop just below that candle, provided you got filled. So crossover entry. 12 minutes from the open. Okay, on gold rather, I'm going to take this long entry here, Dana. It's above the moving average. And see if I can't get it to go higher. This dot is at 34.2. Stop is at 34.1. And the target would be 200% of that risk away. Gold is in a consolidation phase right now, so it's hard to catch the trend starting. When you're trading trend signals and the market is congested, that's the price you pay. You sort of take these small stops as you're waiting for the trend to begin. And the challenge is being in the game, right? The challenge is staying with your system through that phase. And then when you get to the trending signals, everything equalizes out. So Earl, over here on the DAX, that would be a breakout opportunity above the blue line. Okay, stop filled on the NQ, Dana. That one didn't work. Earl, I'm going to try to catch. Wow, it slipped me. Did you see that? That's not what I wanted. I wanted to have one right here, down below that low. $426, you're up here. That's bananas. $416, yeah, I was gonna say, holy cow. Fat fingers, that means you're a successful trading tycoon. Okay. All right, there goes the DAX. I'm not going to reorder here. Okay, gold. we were not able to capitalize on that time. Over here on CL, 923 was a buying pressure time. 930 is the next time. Break even for me is going to be at 31. Boom. Okay, Earl, I think that's enough for me on the DAX. I'm going to lock it in right here. On your Daxy taxi. So I'm out. I know what happens when you wait too long on the DAX. It comes back and takes all of it away. So we used a time signal here. Dana, there was that breakout we were looking for in the NQ, right? Same process, the puncture trade. When it comes above that line and the moving average is up, this candle is my ticket. It's my rocket ship. I launch. 2-to-1 risk reward, or I can hold it to the next time signal. All right, I've moved my target to my stop to break even on crude. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to come all the way up here. Like I said today, I was going to be really aggressive, and I'm going to exit out. So far today, we are up $647 across across all the markets that we've watched. And what's really surprising is our win ratio is only 47%, which is what we said last night, right? We're winning about half the time, but we're winning twice as large as we're losing, which is pretty unbelievable considering. Don, it can be used. I don't use it as much as the lines on the last dot price. I tend to favor the lines on the dot more than the open price line. For a while, I was advocating a use of the open price line for a lot of stuff, but I've changed my mind since then. So we're coming into 9:30 on crude. Remember, the trend is up. So we expect to see these punctures up here or small retracements down. The next signal in the direction of the trend is when? Joe, when is? Yeah, John H. Earlier, I'm sorry I missed your question. But yes, you will see stops being hit periodically near prior structure highs and lows. So Joe H. or John H., for example, this would be an area, John, where people would be looking for breakouts, right? On crude, you have that structural resistance right here, those of you that use support and resistance. Okay, so 930, 948, you'll see people try to get above there, and you'll watch it get pushed right back down. Welcome to the open. NQ, we were waiting for a buying pressure price at 922. Dana, it didn't cross the moving average till right here. It was below the MA, but as soon as it closed above the MA, we had permission to go long. And your stop would be below the white dot. And you're presently break even on the position. So if your stop was here, it is now at 40.25. And you're waiting for 52.75 to be hit. Over on gold, you had a trend entry right here at 927. Joe, do you see that? Your stop would be one tick above the blue line at 0.8. Your entry would be at the close of the candle. And we would be looking for a target. Forgive me. Right here, it bounced off the target twice. Can you see that? Joe, right there at 1333. So the entry method that I taught in the room last night is working very well here today. NQ break even 934 signal, watching for selling pressure. And Joe, do you see where the stop runs came in right before the selling? Can everybody see over here on the NQ all the stops that are getting hit right there? So gold definitely target hit right here. I'll be bouncing around different markets today, so please be patient with me if I'm missing yours. Watch for a stop run now, Joe, on CL right here. Coming up and coming right back down. Oh, great morning. Lots of stuff going on. So everybody and their brothers trying to buy right now on crude. I'm going to, just for poops and giggles, I'm going to look for a selling position right here. Right back under that structure. Dana, if you were trading in the direction of the trend, you see how the puncture would have been right here on that blue line, right? Okay. Puncture trade confuses people. But what it's saying is we were supposed to have selling, and we did, but then it stopped. It was supposed to rain all day, Dana, but the sun came out at 9:30. Well, I guess the storm moved faster than they thought. "15 seconds till a potential trend entry on the NQ. I'll prepare my order here. Very low risk entry on the NQ. Right here, stop below the line. And I'm going to be ultra aggressive with this one. If I can get 2 points, I'm going to finish it. Out. Did you see that? It was fast. It was very fast. But Joe, right there, I was waiting for a signal with trend. It's like a candy store today. And right there, Joe, did you see where I was waiting for them to buy? Based off of that signal, right? That's what this is about, everybody. It's about waiting for those times where the computer is telling us, hey, this is a time that they did this. Watch for it. Be careful. Don't do the opposite. If anything, don't do anything. Okay, so they're not coming back. No stop run there. Just broke through with the trend entry. This move in crude will continue up until 9:40. On the time warp, look at where the signal came in. Our signal would be right at the close of the last white signal. So there are two trend entries, Pam. There's the puncture of the opposite signal in the direction of the trend, and then there's the signal in the direction of the trend right here. Both of which are working really well today. So the next signal on CL in the direction of the trend is at 9:40. Okay. I love this software. I love this program. I can't imagine anybody not using it. Oh, get that box off there. Knowing when these things are coming and being prepared for them. Okay, over on the ES, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signals. If you're going to trade the ES long, Dana, we're watching for a break right now of this high. That's a pattern 5 candle. 808 is the long entry. It's a breakout. I'm uncomfortable with breakouts, generally speaking, but then I kick myself in the arse for not doing it when they got there. Over here in crude, there's another one of those buying signals in the direction of the trend. Okay, over here in crude, we'll see if we can't get filled right here, and whether or not this will be another push up right there. Here we go. Banks were supposed to buy here. They bought a little bit. There's some signs of life. Push, push, push. We'll see if they follow through or if we just have a small stop. They tried to push. No follow through here yet. NQ we have until 9:45. Stop hit on the CL setup. No worries. Small stops, large targets. That puncture of the white dot, Dana, could also indicate, AJ, that the uptrend is over as of right now. So I'm going to put this as a dark blue thick line indicating the trend in crude might be down from here. So AJ, if you want to get in the trade opposite, that's a good thought. We've had a chop zone over on gold, meaning all the time signals were congested in an area right here. So we can look on the chart to see where that started, 936 to 940. This is the chop zone right here. So don't trade anywhere in gold inside of that box. Make the market come out of there and do its thing. Dana, I'm looking for an ES puncture trade at 808, and I'll have my stop below the puncture candle if it fills that order. Presently, that stop would be at 805 half. On the DAX, we're in a chop zone as well, Earl. If we look at the DAX right now, presently, the chop zone started at 933 and ended at 940. If we track where price was in that time frame, that's where traders are getting slaughtered right now. So 933, the high was here. 940, the low was there. So Earl, anything inside of that box is a kill zone. It's a kill box designed to get you to reverse and reverse and reverse and reverse. The direction that it comes out of So if you had, for example, a buy order here and a sell or a sell order here, you generally will see 1 to 200% of the move outside of the chop. So on this side, we'd be looking for selling positions. And on the other side of that, Earl, we'd be looking for buying positions. In a normal market, in the DAX, who the hell knows? The humbling DAX. All right, so this becomes a buy stop. That becomes a buy limit. And we'll wait and see what happens here. Go ahead and scrunch up the chart. See what the hell it does. ES, Dana, I'm filled. I'm going to put my stop below the puncture candle at 805.50, like we said. See what we get out of that. NQ is a selling signal at 9:15. The next signal coming in the NQ won't be here till 9:55. If you're trading the NQ long in the direction of the trend, we'll be watching for a breakout above the blue line or at the blue line at 52.75. Dana, I'm just looking at plain Jane trend entries today, trying not to go too complicated for the new users. But yeah, for the 5, of course, that's definitely something worth considering, right? If you were worried about the 5, it has to get above the high. So a trend continuation would be above the pattern 5, and it's already gone above the 5. So if you're ultra concerned about it, wait for a pullback down into the dot area. Again, the concept today is 2-to-1 risk reward, right? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's what we're looking for. Big targets, small risk. Big tree, fall hard. %, will be green. Let's get the nice lime green that we love. Just do 1 and 1. Set this as default. Okay, on gold, you had a trend entry right here, the software warning us to look for selling pressure at 944. Take a look at what's been happening in gold since 944. Next signal is coming at 953. 953 is the next signal. CL, we had a signal at 9:48. Next one will be here at 10 o'clock. 9:52 using time warp. Joe, on the NQ, the last long position was at 9:36. You see that there? So there's sort of two alternatives. Number one, if you enter with a 2-to-1 risk reward, your first target would have been out here. If you're using time, Joe, the next selling pressure signal came at 9:45. You see that there? So the longest you had for your trade to work was 9:45. And then the computer, the software is warning us, hey, when you get to 9:45, we're expecting selling pressure, right? And can you see how that happened? Okay, so there's fewer surprises when you use the software because it has analyzed when the behavior patterns historically come in and go out. So the next trend entry, you see how it's waiting for us over here at 9:55? Down on the panel, it's saying, look, 9:55 is the next time where the crap hits the fan. So they're pretty much following it like clockwork, right? Now, it's not going to be 100%. It's never 100%. If it was, you wouldn't be in my webinar today. I'd be on a sailboat in the Caribbean with my wife eating, I don't know what we'd be eating, but if you give me enough time to imagine it, I'm sure it's wonderful. Yes, Dana. It would be in the crustacean family. It would be in the crustacean family for sure. Something of a lobster or prawn, shrimp. Yeah. So these are really good estimates of when somebody who's done something a lot is going to do it again. And if we look at the track record of that guess, Joe, do you see how we're in the ballpark most of the time? So it's an advisory service of sorts warning us, hey, you're about to do something that is probably specifically engineered to make you do what you're going to do. meaning everything on your chart, your indicators, your guru, they're all convinced it's going to go up here. But look, we're driving headlong into a selling pressure time. And at 9:45, the whole dream, everybody's dream comes to an end, right, brother? That is the beauty of this. So, Danny, this was a crossover candle right here. You have the ability to be short in the NQ as soon as the candle closed below the moving average right there. Boom, you could take a short in the NQ because now you have all of those things lined up. Selling pressure, downtrend, close below the downtrend. Okay, Joe, here's an example of a stop run coming up. 9:55 is a buying pressure time, right? Look at the prior swing right here. Joe, look at how many people they lured into the short right there. So watch and see what happens on the NQ if we get a buy order here and it comes back into the other side. I would put my stop right below the stop run and see if I can't catch now the reversal back up. I'll go for 2 points, 36 to 38. I have until 9:58, Joe, to test my theory, and then I have to take my toys and go home. No, I don't like counter trend trades. I used to live for them. Now I just, they make my stomach queasy. So right now, Dana, every part of me is screaming, get out. My brain's on fire right now. I can't take it. I want to be out of this. Melissa said she was in it short all the way from 9:45, but you have larger huevos than I do, metaphorically speaking. I would have no such intimate knowledge in real life. Okay, so I'm out. Yep, so that's, Joe, that's why I don't take counter trend trades like that. They're very hard for me to get my head wrapped around. What's one more among friends? Pattern 4 next to a pattern 1 is a 1-2 punch on the NQ. Potential trend reversal here. Let's see what we get. Dana, the pattern 5 on the ES. No joy in Mudville. 9:58 selling pressure signal in the NQ. If you're a trend trader, that is a low risk short right here. Looking for an entry short on the NQ. I have had to use the men's room now for 40 minutes. And it is, whoo, it's getting harder to sit here. Oh. But things are moving really well, so I don't want to leave everybody here in a lurch. So Joe, right now 958 would be the selling pressure window. I have a different suspicion about it, but we'll see. The NQ setting, all the settings on the charts are 714 with a swing point strength of 8. Gold, we're looking for a long entry on the close of this candle in 3 seconds. Crossover entry long, missed it, no pullback, no fill. Dana, you see that crossover candle just run without me? It's like they couldn't help themselves. Sometimes we get the fill, sometimes we don't get the fill. Woo! Man, look at that. Candle came right alive. I couldn't get my order in time. Target filled. I couldn't get my thing in there in time. It's definitely break even. Nice entry. Nice, nice, nice entry. Too fast for my old fingers. There we go. Come on now. Come on now. I got your number. I got your number. I found your timestamp. I knew when you were gonna do it. Go, 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 go. Push. Push it real good. Come on. Pain in my ass. Whatever. Joe, did you see that trend signal here at 958? Yes, Joe, I do this every day. Well, 3 days a week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The other days of the week, I am plotting the destruction of the known universe. The known banking universe. Trying to help people make some money. Coming up with all sorts of harebrained schemes, indicators, programs, techniques, methodologies named after science fiction movies. My next program will be called Blade Runner. No, not stupid. Probably get sued for that. Hey, Earl, remember that chop zone signal that I took? Guess who hit their target just now? Me. And on gold, me. Whoop, whoop. That would be me twice. Oh man, I got the DAX 3 out of 4 times today. So remember the premise of the signal, guys, right? I had a chop zone down here, 3 signals in a cluster. I had constrained price, and then I took the signal, either the breakout this way or Earl, the breakout that way. The correct way would be a 2-to-1, 2 boxes below me, but I said I was going to be aggressive today, and I took 100% of my target, basically a 1-to-1 risk reward. 2-to-1 risk reward on the DAX is right here. So Earl, I expect a reversal in the DAX on this price right here. He said with full bravado. So this is target number 1 that I just got filled. And then target number 2 is on this red line down below. Blow me down. There it is. Gonna touch it. Gonna touch it. Touch me in the morning. Everything's all right. There it is. Boom. So 200% of that target's full, and that trade would be over. Okay. If we use the split technique that we've been teaching everybody in the pro room all week, 959 is the first signal, 1026 is the second signal. Earl, that means when we split them into thirds, time is fractal. We can cut it in pieces. Our next launch point is on the close of this candle coming up. And then our next push, our push, is over here. So we're watching for the DAX to go up here and then down again, experience selling pressure over there. Let's see if it does it. If we catch the banks red-handed, or in this case, white-handed. Look at that. Out of nowhere. Just buyers coming in left and right. Yeah, I'll take some DAX. Hey, you got any DAX left over? Look at that. Boom! Somebody put me on CNBC before I die. Anybody have a friend at Fox Business, CNBC, some financial show where I can spread the message, the gospel? I would like that very much. NQ, Joe, we were expecting, Nick, we were expecting a signal at 10:07. Did the buyers come in at 10:07? Kind of looks like it. CL, we were expecting a move up at 10 o'clock. If you took the 10 o'clock signal, your stop was below the line at 44. Your entry was at the close of the candle at 49, and you hit your 10-tick target at 59 right here. Okay, good trade. The next signal in crude is coming at 10:14. Okay. I'm going to put the time of that stamp underneath here. That was 10:07. That's pretty big. Let's not have that so big. And then Q Trend Trader is looking for a puncture of the white line at 10:07. Melissa, I'm thinking about taking methamphetamines while I teach the room, because there's no way to keep track of all this stuff at the same time. I don't know how else to do it. Okay, if you're using Prime, you see that we're coming into a chop zone of sorts on CL right now. You'll see that the signals get smaller and they kind of come into a range right here. So 10:09 into 10:17, we might want to avoid in crude. AJ, also there have been two white line punctures, one here and one here. So these are both areas of trend reversal in crude. You see what I mean by that, brother? Okay, wow. I love when you guys see stuff after I teach you to see it without me. So this level right here, hermano mío, is definitely a place where there's a ton of supply. They want to just shove the hell out of that position. And the banks were not able to penetrate at the times they were supposed to buy. We'll see what happens. I caught the bottom at 10:07 on the DAX. We're clear until the next signal here. 10:07, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is 12 right here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 10, 17 is the next signal, Earl. 10, 17 on the DAX using the split technique. Man on fire today who needs a bathroom break. All right, let me run to the restroom. I'll be right back, and we'll keep going. I think you guys are doing a great job today. Oh my goodness. Come back! Okay. It's a sexy music station here. So if you went short at 10:19, your stop would be above the blue line. You would have gotten to your break-even point
almost to your target before I took the trade out at break even. In gold, we're in a chop zone right here. AJ, your short should be working out okay on CL. Are you doing all right? So outside of the chop zone, the next sell signal in the direction of the time trend anyway is 1017. We have more help from the 1029 signal here. So AJ, we'll see if this one pushes down. It's a pattern 4 from your guidebook, and there's a good chance it might reverse here and go straight back up. Okay, Melissa, on the NQ, I have a day back search of 1 for 7 rather on day search 1, a day search of 14 for number 2, and a swing of 8 for the pivot type. Yes, Luis, I turned the pattern numbers off today. Just for this class. Okay, if you're getting different signals, work with the ones on your screen. Okay, the purpose of today is just to demonstrate the exercises to show the possible entries. So at 1029, you have a valid short in CL as of this candle, which closed below the moving average right there. Okay, so this candle here is above the MA. This one closed below at 36. That would put our stop right here, 41, 5 ticks of risk to get 10 ticks of reward, which would be down here. There we go. We get to 7, we'll move our stop to break even +1. $10.33 is my next, $10.35 is my next signal on the NQ. We'll see what happens when we get there. This blue line was punctured right here, Dana. So as of right now, guys, I can say that the trend in terms of time has reversed. So 1035 may be a valid trend entry in the sense that this last signal was punctured. So we can try to go for a long in the NQ right here, Dana, at the close in 13 seconds. That would be somewhere in this area, right? Let's see what happens. CL, I get to move my stop to break even +1. And on the NQ, I have to get my target in quick. Target failed on crude. Stop below this line on the NQ, target at 31.50. You can be aggressive at the 150 level too. Nice trade on crude futures. 1029 in and out. Boom, boom, boom. Gold, you had a valid long entry. Stop filled on the NQ. Trend is down again. The trend is down. And you had a valid entry short right here in that direction with a stop above the puncture candle right there. Okay, so we'll try it both ways. Let's see if we don't catch it. Okay, stopped out in both directions. I'm leaving the NQ. Neither signal is working. Yeah, I was expecting the trend to reverse right here and go up because of what happened with the blue dot right there. That's what I was expecting. It may be just that it took my stops out and kept going anyway. GC had a long entry at 1033. Can everybody see that? AJ, you still short on CL? Great job, brother. Proud of you, man. Look how far you've come. Dude, that's amazing. That really says a lot. You're starting to see these things on your own without me sitting here. Man, that's incredible. In GC, we're coming into the 1038 signal, then the 1042 signal. There may be a chop trade available to us in gold right here. Matter of fact, we have a chop set up right here on the histogram. So Luis Miguel right there. We'll track it from 1027 forward. That's the chop zone presently in gold. NQ stop to break even +1. Trying to get to my target up there below the moving average. Yes, Wayne, that was entirely counter trend. Whoa, not what I want. So the premise of that trade is something I'm going to be teaching at the Las Vegas conference in March, when we have a breakdown. Here's a taste of it. Ready? AJ, when we have a breakdown of the signal, like right here. Melissa, you see this? Larry, Ron, Dennis, all my force guys. Tim, listen up. When you have a breakdown, the next signal right here tends to be an incredible move, because it's essentially saying there was a failure of the sellers. There is a change in the wind direction. Mike, does that make sense? Marco. If the sellers couldn't push price down, it means that more and more and more buying pressure is building up. And at 9:22, that ends up being the signal to watch. Now over here, why did I go long? That puncture, AJ, is similar to that signal. It's telling me the sellers had a chance and they allowed price to come up above their safety line. This is their no man's zone right here. And they allowed the buyers to come up, to creep. So Wayne, I was watching at 10:35 for that signal. Can everybody see why these two things are identical in concept? Right here. And I'm hoping to have an indicator for this in Vegas that only shows the second signal, Melissa, after the puncture. So here we have a failure. Let me make the font smaller. Failure indicates evaporation of sellers. And then over here, safe for buyers to push without opposition. Does that make sense? It's a way to know that the tide has changed. Failure indicates evaporation of sellers. The next time, the buyers will move unopposed. I did get stopped out. Wayne, I got stopped out. But then I re-entered when I saw the blue candle right here. I went back a second time. Okay. To demonstrate that point. Okay, we're on the other side of the GC chop zone. So this is where people are being chopped and hacked to death. We'll make it brown because there's nothing sexy about brown in terms of a trading platform. And Earl, this is one of those repetitions of the DAX entry when we have a chop zone like this. We're watching to see which side the banks emerge from. Will it be from above or will it be below? Okay, so if it's above, we're watching for buying pressure. If it's below, we're watching for selling pressure, right? Okay, so there's that first indication that they're punching below the moving average on gold. So let's watch and see what happens from that point forward. because now we're watching for gold to come 100% of the chop zone below. Down into the 33 range. Oh. No, Wayne, no problem. Thank you. All right. So in the histogram guidebook that I send everybody, let's see if I can find it. There it is. I detail that trade right here. So Melissa, check it out. AJ, on this page right here. So this is page number 16. When there's chop indicated on your prime histogram, or if you see a bunch of lines close together on your warp histogram, like this, you isolate where price was during that chop. So here in this example, Melissa, look, the chop is down below, right there. This is where people are going to get crushed. And I isolate that box where price was in that time frame. Does that make sense, AJ? No, John, I'm explaining it to you right now. They were chopping people out on purpose. Okay, and so what I do is I look to see, are they going to emerge from the chop zone this way or emerge from the chop zone that way? Right? And so whichever way they pick, it'll usually go one size of the box and two sizes of the box in that direction. Your other option is to completely ignore price while it's in the chop zone. Just make it invisible. But so far in this gold example, if we follow those same examples, if we follow that guidance, Melissa, we'd have been short right here. Does that make sense? Okay. We'll see if it hits that lower 33 target here by the time we're done. Okay, on the NQ, you had another puncture system, a puncture signal right here. So Dana, as soon as it punches that line a second time, that's a breakout opportunity. Your stop would go one tick above the candle right here at 28.25. Once you know the risk, you know the, that's right, reward. And you'd be looking for 6 to 8 ticks on the puncture for a scalp. You'd be looking for 18.75 as a 2-to-1 risk reward on your puncture. We're coming up on 10.53 also in the Nasdaq-Alaka, the Neil Sedaka. We're going to run a split study on the ES to see where the intermediate turns are. So gig, I'm just going to cross the valley here and look and see. When we have an inversion like this, we discovered this yesterday in the DAX, this becomes the white and then this becomes the blue. Gold approaching target level at 33, stops to break even if you're short. conventionally, gig, the signals would be here, and you'll see there was a pivot. Right here, this is the white dot in between the two. Target filled on the gold trade using chop zones. So that was 34 to 33, or 10 ticks of profit per contract. You should be, is it break even yet on the NQ? Not quite break even on the NQ on your short if you're 2 to 1. John, so in a chop situation, can you see on the histogram how there's a bunch of low bumps in a very short condensed area? That's where people get chopped out. Target filled on the NQ short. If you were short on the NQ, from here you've just logged $6.50 of movement, or $130 per contract. So historically, Joe, when it breaks out of that box, it will go 1 times and then 2 times the distance of the original chop zone down. Otherwise, the next signal, if you were just waiting for this one at 1049, would have been a conventional short with your stop above the blue line, your entry at 33.6. Okay. Over on CL, we're waiting for 1056. If we do a split analysis, just to see what's going on here, gig, you see that the 33.3% was right here, and the 66.6% was right there. We've blown through it. So the 1056 signal, guys, on crude, really good chance of pushing up, because AJ, this split signal, while producing resistance, gig, you see here how it stopped for a while before it punched through? We did intercept resistance there. But it broke through, which means that at 1056, there's a good chance it's going to be one of those evaporation signals we just talked about. Wayne, there are some customers who purchase Prime and some customers who have Flux, and those are histogram based. And other customers in the pro room are using Warp, which is the higher tier product. And I want to make sure that everybody's being serviced in the training room. To be fair, not everybody could afford Warp or wants to change. So I have opportunities to teach using both techniques. Okay, so 1056 into 1058 is a buying window in crude with failures on both charts. So 1048, if you did go short, you would have been tripped out for a 4-tick loss on that signal. 1056 will form in 15 seconds. Let's see if we can catch this setup right here. Okay, so I'm filled at 37. I'm going to put my stop just below at 31. That is a 6-tick risk. We're looking for 12. That would be 49. Again, we have no clue if the trade's going to work or not. These are educated guesses based on statistical outcomes. Trend trades are generally about 45 to 50% accurate, so we're going to be wrong a little more often than we'll be right, but our winners are twice as big as our losers. Pull this over so we can see the NQ as well. 1053 is a pattern 4 signal. Carlos, necesita llamar mi amigo. Se llama Ron Gardner. This is his mobile. Gracias. Muchas gracias. Stop filled on CL, but we took a shot. I'm going to take a shot at the 1058 signal also on the time warp right here and put my stop just below that line right there. So that's an even smaller risk with 4 ticks to see if it'll work. On the NQ, if you were short, we were watching for selling pressure at that last signal. So we did see a push down at 1053 right there. You're probably too broke to be able to do it. Do what? When is it? When is it? My swing settings for all of my charts are 8 pivot strength swing settings. If you're watching on the ES, this is a pattern 6 right here. Oh, yeah. The training for customers in Vegas will probably be March 27th and 28th. I think it's a Monday and a Tuesday. This signal right here on the ES is pattern 6. Wayne, I got in off of the 1058 signal. right there. I didn't realize till I got in that it was below the moving average, so I messed up. I put the wrong entry in. I made a mistake. So if you are short in gold, you would have been taken out at break even. It came and hit the 150% line and moved all the way back to your entry plus 1 tick. On CL, if you executed correctly, you would be looking for a short right here, weighing at the puncture of that line. Your stop would be above this candle at 33, and with a 2-to-1 risk reward, we would be out presently at 18. Yeah, John, I would say don't go to Vegas, just get the software. Don't worry about that. All right, pro room guys, sorry about that. We are moving into the 11:11 time in the NASDAQ. Just going to remove the signals here and reload that chart. Wayne, that's an option. I find it's harder for me to use to execute that option. Multi-contract, that's a really good way to approach it. Multi-contract is a really good way to approach that. A lot of days I wish that I did that. And it's a very simple way to keep track of it. All right, if you were short in the DAX just now, your stop was not hit. Your initial stop would have been at $17. Your entry would have been here, and you just hit break even. So on the DAX, you hit 150% of your risk just down here at 90. Remember, Wayne, we were waiting for buying pressure at 11:11. Can everybody see what's happening at that signal? The biggest bull candle there is. Look how big that candle is, Joe. Did we catch somebody doing something? Did a button get pushed somewhere? And we knew about it. On CL, guys, in the book, the guide to the histograms that I give everybody, Luis, this is an example of the text that I don't have on my screen. There would be a pattern 4 at 11:04 right now. So one of the advantages of the warp, if you don't own it, is it tells you when these special signals are coming that Prime can't produce. You'll look and see that we actually have a pattern 4. Those of you that have warp at home, you're already seeing those signals. And so everything about this, AJ, is telling me to look for a push up from this low, and there was just a stop run right here. Okay, so if you're looking for counter trend reversals, then this would be an area to test with a low risk trade. In the lower left corner, it says alert, pattern 4, possible exhaustion reversal area, observational notes, immediate market reversal possible on the time signal or on either side of the pattern 4 candle. If market punches through pattern 4 candle lows, trend continuation downwards possible until next time signal. So as per the candle pattern 4, it's saying, look, the market could possibly reverse. Se reversa aquí. Normalmente cuando vemos la circla azul, el mercado mueve debajo, pero cuando el número 4 ocurre, hay una posibilidad grande que precios se reversan sobre la línea azul y cuidarte. Si quiere vender, es necesario esperar al punto debajo el precio menos para continuar. Wow, I just did that. We have a few Spanish customers in the room today, and I just want to make sure they understand what's going on. So this explains why price is moving sideways now in crude. It's not a pure selling pressure signal. So we can be watching for an entry, AJ, just like it happened over here. So AJ, you see right there how it broke through the line? We could be watching for a breakthrough right there as well, correct? We will see. Vamos a ver. $11.11, we were waiting for buying. Esperamos para comprar, and the market moved straight up. Boom. The NQ today with these signals is unbelievable. Knowing when to wait. What would happen if you just traded from signal to signal? Okay, ready? From here to here is a winner. From here to here is a winner. Small one. From here to here is a winner. From here to here is a winner. From here to here is a winner. From here to here was a winner. From here to here was a winner. From here to here was a winner. This is the first loser right here. $11 loser. And then right here was a loser. So 4.5, 7.5, 11.5, 21.5, 33, 47 minus 16. 47 minus 16 is what? $31. The NQ is what? $20 a dollar? It's $620 going signal to signal. That's not luck, guys. There's no way that's lucky. And I had nothing to do with that. And all these signals are waiting in the future. So as a training exercise, when you first start using the software, I definitely recommend on one day in Sim, you just sell and buy and sell and buy and sell and buy. I absolutely recommend that. Okay. So here's the next alert for crude. If you have warp, we can read this right here. This is a pattern 7, right? Pattern 5 and a pattern 7. And there's a warning, cuidarte. There's a possible exhaustion. Even though the signal is white, the computer is warning us, listen, the way it appears here, we want to be careful. If market breaks the high, uptrend possible. Where's the high? The high is right here. So Dana, at 31, this is an area we're interested in looking for the breakout in crude. Okay, so you want to put a buy order at 32 to test it and see. Otherwise, the trend entry is this direction from here. It's down. You know what to do when you arrive at the time. If you're a trend trader, this is a low risk opportunity for a short. That's correct. So AJ, you can look at that 1119 signal when it has a pattern 5 and a pattern 7 like this. It's as though there is a blue dot above it right here. Does that make sense? Everything is opposite. That's the power of time warp. It tells you when these patterns are appearing. Those notes in the bottom corner, super, super powerful notes. Okay, we've got about 6 more minutes together, guys. Do you have any questions? We've covered a lot of important things here today. Okay, on the DAX, we had another signal right here. We've had 3 signals in a row in the DAX, right? We had one at 10:26, we had one at 10:49, and we had one at 11:21. This last signal in the DAX, starting at the close of the candle, so far has gone basically $112. That's $150 per contract from the one signal to the other. So these are the signals that we've been watching so far. We made a bunch of money on the DAX today, which I really appreciate, because yesterday it was a jerk. Yesterday it was an absolute jerk to me. The next signal in the DAX is at 11:26, 11:40, and then 11:53. Good stuff. When I do the splits, pro room guys, when I do the splits, I like to draw the lines just to help me see if it stayed inside of that constraint. Like that. That's a little too dark. Got anything bluer? There we go. $11.26 puncture on the DAC indicates that in the direction of the trend right here, there's a good opportunity to go long at the breakout right here with a stop AJ just below that candle. When will you have a room completely devoted to the force? Juan, this is in my dreams. I wish I could. I started this room first. How many people in here today? Almost 20. Is there somewhere past Thursday webinars I missed can be viewed similar to the pro room? Yeah, absolutely. Let me do that right now. While everybody's here. Yeah, the first pro room, we had maybe 5 guys. It was slow in coming. Okay, tachyon. We'll add that to the channel.
tachyon, 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 best practice money management, that should be in there. Tachyon, tachyon, tachyon. On, 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 on. On. Okay, so AJ, all of those Thursdays, if you guys want to bookmark this link or save it somewhere, I have them all in one area for you. I should have them all there. AJ, can you tell me if this link opens up when I send it to you in the chat box? If you see the same stuff. So these are all the Thursday classes. Let me know if that comes through. It works. Cool. I'll send a link out this afternoon if anyone's interested for customer stuff. 24.5. So that would be 6 ticks to 8 ticks would be 31.1. So AJ, you see here how I'm looking at that 6 to 8 tick window on those scalps. 31.1 would have been the first. I think that's the first 6 ticks. 24.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so this is a 6 to 8 window when it first goes through. Let me write that down here. These punctures are good most of the time for 6 to 8 scalping ticks. AJ, use the second link. Use the second link. I just put it in there. So if that helps, I'm glad to do it. All right, last 4 gold signals worked really well. NQ signal had one of those punctures, right? Just keep seeing that over and over again. Right here, and then John, those are good for 6 to 8 ticks, usually right out the gate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? You'll see those push right up
in that it's either a stop run or a trend continuation, and either way you can benefit from it. That surge right up there. Same thing that we wrote over here. The puncture trades are good most of the time for 6 to 8 scalping ticks. Copy, cancel. Same deal. ES at 11:30 has a selling pressure signal right here. There is no immediate high for a stop run. So there's no counter trend setup right here. There is a setup short in terms of structure right here, right now. We have this prior structure, that consolidation area right here. The ES just pulled back up into it right now. So we would be looking for a very low risk short right here. Even though we're above the trend line, there's really no trend. So right here in the ES would be a place to look for a short based off of that structure to the left. We're past 11:30 here, so I can't take any more entries because the room's going to be closed in a second. So I have to let my results for the week stand. So for the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday today, I am up $900. Hypothetically speaking, doing the same things that we've been doing here today, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Wayne, absolutely. Can you call me or can I call you right after? I'll give you my number. You can call me when we close. I'm going to close here in a second. That's my phone. I can do this for bonds. Actually, John, if you have any questions, Melissa trades bonds with the software, and she's been doing it for how many years now, Melissa? Quite a few. Not to date you or make you sound old. A lot of years. At least a couple. So over here on the CL chart, if you were going short, John, again, just another trade. You'd be short at the close of this candle at 19, and you would be hitting your target right now at 07. So that latest CL signal in the direction of the trend, you had one signal in the direction of the trend here. You had another signal in the direction of the trend here. Both of those did what was expected. Bada bing, bada boom. And soybeans, and natural gas, and lean hogs, and platinum. You can't nail a girl down to one thing. It's a woman's prerogative. You change your mind. Trade whatever the hell I want to trade. Nobody gonna tell me what I want to trade. Yeah. This works on all markets, John. The banks are thieves in every market. All right. AJ, got any questions for me? Marco? Can those arrows be turned on and off in the settings? They can be, yes. Don, there's a parameter here for time warp that says show historical, show live, show historical pattern recognition, show live pattern recognition, show live pattern text. I have them all saved true. Yeah, let's save the workspace here real quick. Sorry. Mike, I'm happy to do that for you. Just give me 1 second. Don, there's a glitch right now that the programmer is working on with regards to live patterns. And I expect it to be done in the next week or so. All right, let me get that off to you here. Stand by. Upload the file. Here it comes. Yeah, Don, they're working on that too. He's 100% into warp right now. Okay, so if you want today's workspace, it's going in the chat box. In the chat box. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. All right, guys, I'm going to shut the room down. When was yesterday's recording? If you need yesterday's recording, I have a link. I can give it to you right now. I'm not sure when Rachel posts those in there. So here was, what's today's date? The 19th, so the 18th. If you want yesterday's, is right here. Mike, I'm not sure. Bill, this one? I gotta send you this one then too, Bill. The risk disclaimer. Okay, there's that last signal on 1141 on the NQ. So if you're watching this video later on, thanks for attending here today. Appreciate you guys. AJ, either or would be a step up from Flux. If it were up to me, I would use both. And if I had to choose one, it would be warp.
All right, everybody. You have a good weekend. If you have any questions, give me a holler. I'll catch you on the flip side. You guys were awesome this week. Good job.